And 13 News at 5 begins tonight with breaking news.
The U.S. State Department and the Israeli military say there will be consequences for an Iranian missile attack on Israel. The military believes Iran fired around 180 missiles at the country. And about an hour and a half later, Iran says it had concluded its attack.
The U.S. Navy stopped some of those missiles from reaching Israel today. NBC's Richard Engel reports tonight from Lebanon on the growing conflict in the Middle East.
So what we witnessed here and what our colleagues witnessed on the Israeli side of the border was quite extraordinary. We saw two distinct waves of ballistic missile attacks. We saw the missiles that appeared to have crossed through, at least some of them crossed through Lebanese airspace heading toward Israel, and they were being blown up in the sky at very high altitude, so high that we couldn't hear the explosions, but we could see the impacts as the ballistic missiles were destroyed in mid-flight. It seems that they were destroyed not just by Israel's Iron Dome system, but by a variety of anti-missile defense systems, including significant help from the United States. This was a significant attack. It was a large-scale attack, but it appears to have been a very ineffective attack. And now the main question is, what kind of response will there be from Israel? Will Prime Minister Netanyahu, who has been openly talking about the need for regime change in Iran, use this as a moment? Will he capitalize on this crisis to try and take the battle to Iran directly? For the last year, he has been attacking Iran's proxies in Gaza at an enormous cost to the people of Gaza, and then starting over the last 48 hours or so, even less than that, the ground war here in Lebanon. So now we have yet another phase of this war: the ongoing war in Gaza, the new ground war in Lebanon, the failed air campaign from Iran, and then what will tomorrow bring? A new war against Iran. There are many open questions tonight, and frankly, none of them have very good answers.
That's Richard Engel reporting, and the president of Iran tonight is saying that missile strike is, quote, only a portion of our power.
Now, about 6,000 Americans have asked for more information about possibly leaving Lebanon.
So the IDF reports no one was hurt in this missile attack today.
However, that doesn't make it any less scary for friends and family here in central Indiana. Rich and I talked to local Jewish community leaders this afternoon right after the missile attack on Israel. And what did they share, Rich?
Well, this conflict, remember, now started almost a year ago. And the Jewish community in Indianapolis was already planning a remembrance ceremony this Monday night to remember the Hamas attack on Israel on October 7th of last year. And now that ceremony will have even greater significance with the escalation of Iran's missile attack.
When October 7th happened last year and we came together, we never would have imagined that we would still be talking about it here on the first anniversary. That it's not the first anniversary of something that is now over. It is actively going on, and it's even expanding, which is just horrific to all of us. None of us want this. None of us ever expected this to happen.
Today, seeing events continue to unfold in Israel, it is very difficult for everybody. I think just the long strain of a year of conflict in Israel, combined with everybody here in our community knowing somebody living there who is spending their day today and their evening in bomb shelters.
The Jewish Federation of Greater Indianapolis has its headquarters on the north side of Indianapolis. The organization reports about 18,000 Jews in the Indy area. It's just after midnight right now in Israel, 7 hours ahead of us here in Indianapolis. The missile strike came in the early evening in Israel, and a few of the people that I talked to this afternoon were actually on the phone talking with people in Israel when those people were told to evacuate their homes and get to a bomb shelter.
Really driving home how real this conflict is impacting people here. Thank you, Rich. And we've been covering this breaking news since it first broke during 13 News at noon. And we're going to keep covering it throughout the next 90 minutes. Into Nightly News with Lester Holt at 6:30. He will have more. Let's get a check of weather closer to home.
Felicia, as expected, a cold front moving through central Indiana right now, and behind the front, temperatures are really dropping. We're already down to 68 in Lafayette, 67 in Greencastle, 72 in Indianapolis. Ahead of the front, still 80 in Shelbyville and 81 degrees in Columbus. As expected, this boundary also responsible for a few spotty showers. You can see some of the steadier rain pushing just southeast of Marion County. This extends from Newcastle to Greenfield to the Franklin area in Johnson County and all the way south toward Bloomington. These won't last long, but a brief downpour or two. Last local stop to the north, not quite as heavy, but we've got this thin line of rain from Wabash to Kokomo to Frankfort. All of this will move out and skies will clear this evening. Temperatures through the 60s early on will drop into the 50s by 9 p.m. Overnight temperatures in the 40s. It's going to be chilly enough for a jacket or a sweatshirt early Wednesday.
Angela, thanks so much. Tonight at 5, there are concerns about a home on the northeast side of Indianapolis where 2 men were shot to death a month apart.
IMPD says the men were found at a property on Leland Avenue just off of East 34th and Emerson. Our Chase Howell spoke to neighbors near the home who say they are scared after learning of the latest body.
They also tell me over the last few weeks they've been smelling something foul. Many of them just chalked it up to be a dead animal in the woods. But come to find out, it was a decomposing body behind this house. This comes after a 57-year-old man was found shot to death outside the home nearly a month to the day this second body was found. Neighbors say the only people living in this boarded-up home are the ones who are allegedly squatting there. They say people can be seen going in and out of the home at all hours of the day and night. So who owns the home? And is it possible IMPD missed something when investigating that first person shot and killed? I'll have that answer ahead at 6. Reporting here in Indianapolis, Chase Howell, 13 News.
Thank you, Chase. And tonight, a man is under arrest after a deadly shooting in Lawrence County. Police found 27-year-old William Boggs around 6 o'clock Monday night. Witnesses then gave police information about a suspect and the car the person was driving. A state police detective and a Brownstown police officer later spotted the suspect, a 34-year-old Bedford man, and arrested him. Bedford police say they also found a gun in the car, which they believe was used in the shooting.
Tonight, for the first time, the City County Council's investigative committee will meet.
Their job is to look into how the city of Indianapolis handled sexual harassment complaints. Our Marion County reporter Lauren Kostick has been following this story since the beginning.
And Lauren joins us live tonight with what we can expect from that meeting. Lauren?
Well, we first told you about this investigative committee about 3 weeks ago when it was approved by both council Republicans and Democrats. And tonight, those committee members will be laying out a timeline for this really unprecedented investigation. Of course, the first priority of this committee will be choosing an outside law firm to conduct the investigation. They will dig into the handling of sexual harassment complaints by the mayor's administration and his campaign. Also tonight, the committee will start reviewing the city's current reporting process in hopes of making improvements. Just earlier this month, we spoke to one counselor who sits on this committee, and she says her priority is making sure these allegations never happen again.
This isn't about one person. This is about flaws and errors in the system and how we got to this point and what changes we can make to go forward.
And under the proposal, the committee also has the authority to subpoena witnesses and documents, but are prohibited from receiving any identifiable information about a victim. And again, tonight is that first meeting with this investigative committee. They are required to meet once a month and will likely be meeting more than that. And this meeting will start at 6 inside the City County building, and I'll be inside and bring you a full report coming up at 11. Scott, Felicia.
All right, Lauren Kostick reporting live from downtown Indy. Thank you so much. And there's now a safe place to park for people living in their cars here in Indianapolis.
There's a church on the northeast side of Indianapolis that has opened up 10 parking spots for qualified applicants. They can park there for 60 days. Now, they must be in the lot by 8 o'clock at night, out by 7 in the morning, and agree to a code of conduct. They can go inside the church to charge up their phones, use the free Wi-Fi, and access support services.
Now, keep in mind, you do have to apply for a spot to park there. Safe Park Indy is also looking to add more space and recruit more churches and businesses to participate and open their parking lots at night. We've included a link which will take you to a site where you can apply for a spot or learn how to help at WTHR.com.
Tonight at 5, we want to take a closer look at a new ad for Republican Mike Braun's gubernatorial campaign.
In the television ad, Democratic gubernatorial candidate Jennifer McCormick's campaign team says a photo of her at a campaign rally was digitally altered. Our Anna Chalker joins us live from the newsroom to explain how a new law changed the rules for political ads.
Well, Scott, Felicia, the Braun ad shows a photo of McCormick standing at a rally with people behind her holding signs that say no gas stoves. But at the actual rally, they were holding campaign signs with her name on them. Now, I want to show you both versions of this photo. The picture on your left is the original one taken by the South Bend Tribune. The other is the photo from Braun's campaign advertisement where you could see a change in those signs. Instead of McCormick's campaign signs, they now say no gas stoves. And according to our news gathering partners at the Capitol Chronicle, the ad was sent to TV stations without a legally required disclaimer. Now, a new state law requires all campaign ads with altered media must include that disclaimer. Representative Kyle Miller, who co-authored the new law, says this helps voters understand what's true.
This is exactly why we wrote the bill. I mean, you couldn't ask for a better example of why we need this. It was a picture that was clearly altered. And so again, if images are going to be altered like that, then voters deserve to know the truth.
The law says if a candidate does not disclose that an ad is altered, their opponent can sue them. Miller says that the new reissued ad with that disclaimer does follow the law.
All right, Anna Chalker in our newsroom with that story. Thanks so much.